Lifers, Kate here. I just wanted to share with you for a few minutes just about what God's been teaching me this last week. So I've been reading through the book of Jeremiah, which is about the prophet Jeremiah, who was a prophet to Israel. And God used him to talk to Israel and warn them what would happen to them if they continued to seek other gods and continued running from God. And so the whole book is basically a conversation between Jeremiah and the Lord. And so last week I read Jeremiah 17, and a few verses really stuck out to me, and I wanted to share those verses with you. And this is especially poignant, I think, right now as we're facing a crisis as a country and a world, and personal crises. Our normal has been turned upside down, and so this is a time when a lot of us are having a difficult time, or it can be difficult to trust God in this time. And so I just want to read to you and encourage you that if you're trusting in God, then your trust is not misplaced. And so I'm going to read from Jeremiah 17, 5 through 8. He says, "This is what the Lord says. Cursed is the person who trusts in mankind. He makes human flesh his strength, and his heart turns from the Lord. He will be like a juniper in the Arabah. He cannot see when good comes, but dwells in the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land where no one lives. The person who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence indeed is the Lord, is blessed. He will be like a tree planted by water. It sends out its roots toward a stream. It doesn't fear when heat comes, and its foliage remains green. It will not worry in a year of drought or cease producing fruit." And that last part of verse 8 really stuck out to me. It says, "It will not worry in a year of drought or cease producing fruit." And so God is promising not only will you be provided for, not only will you live, but you're also going to produce fruit. And that's a sign of a living thing that's flourishing, that's really living for the purpose for which it was created. And that's what he says. You won't cease producing fruit. And so I want to encourage you right now, if you feel like you can't see the way ahead and you can't see how that's going to happen, to trust in him. He says that we don't have to fear when the heat comes, and we don't have to worry in a year of drought, and that you'll be like a tree planted by water, and that your foliage will remain green. And so that's a picture of a plant that is truly living and thriving when it's connected to the source, the water. And then conversely, he says, "Cursed is the person who trusts in mankind and makes human flesh his strength." He says he cannot see when good comes. And so when good comes, he can't see it. His eyes are blinded to it. And he dwells in the parched places in the wilderness. And so that word dwells, that just reminds me of dwelling or camping out. And so he who trusts in mankind, who thinks that their only hope is in mankind, is probably going to be dwelling in places of despair and not in a place of having real hope for the future. And so but it says the person who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is indeed is the Lord, is blessed. And so I just want to encourage you that if you're trusting in him, then your trust is not misplaced. And this week, I just want to challenge you with the question of, how are you trusting Jesus? How are you trusting God this week? In what areas of your life are you finding that you've had to trust him? And how are you doing that? How are you actively doing that this week? So let's hear from you.